motherfucking man, wanna put out my flame. They try to douse my flame.
Let's go, Titans families. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the arena where intellect meets the fire. You are locked into the Titans Debate League, the platform where we don't just scratch the surface, we dig for the roots. I am your host, King J, and today we are stepping into a minefield of modern philosophy and education. We've seen the rise of the scholars, the gurus, and the enlightened ones across the screens and in our community. We call them the master teachers. They promise liberation, they promise hidden knowledge, and they promise the truth. But today we're putting those pedestals to the test. The title of today's class is, were our master teachers pseudo? Are these the visionary architects of our future? Or are they just masters of the smoke and mirror game? Is the knowledge being passed down foundational? Or is it fundamentally flawed? The Titans are in the building, the lines are drawn, and it's time to separate the facts from the fables. Iron sharpens iron. Let's see who's left standing.
Keep the heat in the topics. Yes, they can try, yes, they can. It adults my flame. 10 toes where I stand, I'm the motherfucking man. Wanna put out my flame. They don't know nice is eternal. Now I got nice light in front of us. They're trying to douse my flame. Yes, they can try, yes, they can. It douse my flame. 10 toes where I stand.
Peace and power to all my Titans family and everybody's listening, everybody's watching on this Monday, midday Monday. We're back with some more meta-netter scholarship, some more meta-netter conversation, another open panel. Today's question is, were our master teachers pseudo? So this conversation and topic was brought up the other day where I showed various master teachers with different perspectives. I showed the great Dr. Ben. I showed Ashwar Kwesi. I showed the great Walter Williams. They all agreed. And came to the conclusion that the meta-netter has not been deciphered. The ideograms, the pictograms have not been deciphered. But instead, what has happened is Champollion has created a categorization of phonetic values associated to 24 uniliterals. So we have another master teacher who we love in our community by the name of Mfadishi. Mfadishi says that the hawk vulture is an A because the hawk vulture makes the sound I can't make this up. So let's just see for ourselves what the great master teacher himself says. I don't want to put any words in his mouth. Here we go.
Meanwhile.
And a good one would be what you call meta-nature. Some people going wrong saying that they speak in meta-nature. That's just what it is. You can't speak it because there's no vowel. The Europeans added some vowel to try to, communicate with each other. And a good one would be.
Meanwhile,
a few moments later.
Information. That's a hawk vulture. It's a hawk vulture. And the hawk vulture goes, that's the sound, Okay, so I want to break it down. Symptomatic thought. We understand
can't make this up. Hold on, fellas.
Meanwhile,
A few moments later.
Information. That's a hawk vulture. It's a hawk vulture. And the hawk vulture goes, ah, ah, ah. That's the sound, ah. Good. Okay, so I want to break it down. Symptomatic thought. We understand each animal. The F, what you wanted to say for father, something like that, is a horn viper snake. And it goes,
I just want to get it right, so I'm getting clear.
And it also represents masculinity.
So we have our master.
meanwhile,
in the KEMETIC
A few moments later.
This is what they're teaching.
That's a hawk vulture. It's a hawk vulture. And the hawk vulture goes, ah, ah, ah. That's the sound, ah. Good. Okay, so I want to break it down. Symptomatic thought. We understand each animal. The F, what you wanted to say for father, something like that, is a horn viper snake. And it goes like the F sound.
People, this is crazy. And is it because they are our master teachers that we feel as if they're too good to challenge their information, even if their information is pseudo or correct? Because this is crazy. This is nonsense. This is pseudo nonsense at its finest. So what I'm prepared to do today is to demonstrate how so. So let's start here. We'll start here. And I'll share my screen. One moment. The vulture myth. Debunking pseudo-linguistics in ancient Egyptian hieroglyphics. The popular vulture, a myth. Here we see the vulture. A persistent claim in popular culture suggests that the Egyptian vulture hieroglyph represents the letter A because the bird supposedly makes an ah sound. This explanation appears frequently in tourist guides, museum displays, and introductory hieroglyphic alphabet charts sold at gift shops. So the brother Infodici is giving us tourist guide gift shop scholarship. It's crazy. The fundamental problem, this charming theory is entirely pseudoscience. And pseudo-linguistics, a modern fabrication that misrepresents both ornithology and ancient Egyptian writing systems. The biological reality. Do vultures actually say ah? Ornithological evidence states that the Egyptian vulture, which is scientifically pronounced Neophron percnopterus, does not possess the vocal anatomy to produce human-like open valves. So I'm demonstrating here that even just through biology, this vulture, because it's not a hawk, this Egyptian vulture doesn't even have the capability to say ah. Let's go to vocal structure. Vultures lack a larynx capable of forming sustained vowel sounds like ah. Natural behavior. These birds are primarily silent in the wild. And when they do make noises, they produce high-pitched mews, hisses, and sharp whistles. Nothing that would resemble a vocalic A. Scientific verdict. The biological claim is demonstratively false. As I just demonstrated, the vulture has not the capability even to make the sound through its larynx. So it's not making an ah sound. Ancient Egyptian was not an alphabet. The English writing system uses both consonant and vowels, explicitly written cat, C plus A plus T. The Ajab system, which is what the ancient Egyptian system was, similar to the modern Arabic or Hebrew, vowels were generally not written. Only consonant sounds were recorded or alluded to. The vulture hieroglyph did not represent the vowel A at all. Instead, it represented a consonant, specifically a glutinal stop. The sound you make in the middle of oh, or at the beginning of apple, apple, This fundamental misunderstanding confuses modern alphabetic thinking with ancient consonantal writing systems. The Rebus principle. How hieroglyphs actually work. I don't think Infodici knew this. I don't think Infodici knew this. Or anybody who agreed with them knew this. Or had the knowledge or understanding to actually challenge it. The Rebus principle. Hieroglyphs operate on the Rebus principle. A picture represents the sound of the word for that object, not the noise the object makes. Our pseudo scholars. Once again, the Rebus principle. Hieroglyphs operate on the Rebus principle. A picture represents the sound of the word for that object. Once again, the sound of the word for the object, not the noise the object makes. So we see here the ancient word for vulture, which I will demonstrate here shortly. In the TLA, we'll look up the word for vulture and we'll confirm. We'll see what it actually was. So it says the Egyptian word for vulture. The ancient Egyptian word for vulture began with the glutinal stop sound ah or It's a glutinal stop sound So the word for vulture starts with the So what do we see as the symbol or the letter for the vulture? The aleph. It's the aleph. It's the aleph in the Hebrew. All right? The same thing. Sound extraction. Scribes use the vulture image to represent that initial glutinal stop. So that sound, they're putting the vulture to represent that sound. It's not the sound that the vulture makes. It's the sound of the word. Phonetic writing. The image becomes a phonetic symbol based on the name of the creature. The image becomes a phonetic symbol based on the name of the creature. A phonetic symbol is a letter. So a dog is so a dog is starts with the letter D, not because a dog goes around and making the sound. This is pseudo craziness. Like, what? I don't know how this was allowed to go on for so long, but it stops today. Phonetic writing. The image becomes a phonetic symbol based on the name of the creature. Modern comparison. We use the letter D for the word dog because of how we spell the word. Not because dogs walk around saying da 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 da. The same logic applies to ancient Egyptian hieroglyphs, right? The hawk or vulture, right, doesn't make the ah sound. The word for hawk begins with the ah letter, or the aleph to be exact, or the glutinal stop sound. Why do we call it A today? During the decipherment of hieroglyphics, scholars faced a practical challenge, showing how to transcribe unfamiliar Egyptian sounds using familiar European letters. The vulture's glutinal stop corresponds to the Hebrew letter aleph. I mentioned that earlier. The first letter of the Semitic alphabet. Early Egyptologists adopted A as a convenient placeholder symbol to make Egyptian text readable for Western audiences. It's a placeholder symbol. It's a letter that has no value, only a phonetic. It's a letter that has no meaning, only a phonetic sound, right? Only a phonetic sound. And it was created by Egyptologists. This was meant as academic shorthand, a transliteration convention, not a phonetic claim. Over generations, this technical notation was misinterpreted as representing the vowel sound ah and the pseudo-scientific bird sound. Explanation was invented to justify it. I'm gonna read that again because the pseudoism stopped today. I don't care if it is our master teachers who's teaching it, because it's being regurgitated in the community today as truth. It says, this was meant as academic shorthand, a transliteration convention, not a phonetic claim. Over generations, this technical notation was misinterpreted as representing the vowel sound ah and the pseudo-scientific bird sound. Explanation was invented to justify it. That's crazy. So we're going to look at pseudoscience versus academic reality, right? Pseudoscience versus academic reality, the truth, according to at least academia. The origin of sound. According to pseudoscience, well, according to Infudisi, according to the brother Tahudi Afar, the brother who was on the panel the other day, who agreed with Infudisi, right? According to him, the hawk vulture makes an ah sound. But linguistically, and according to academic reality, and according to the rebus principle, we use the letter A because that's what the ancient Egyptians called it. We'll look it up, but I'm willing to bet that the word for vulture in the metadata will be The word, once again, the word for vulture in the metadata will be Not because the bird made it sound, but that's the word for it. Right? Biological basis, according to pseudoscience. Vultures say and that's false. What is this based on? Where are they getting? Where's Info DC? Where did he get this from? Because he got it from somewhere, right? It says he got it from the gift shop. You know how you go touring, you're driving down the highway and you got the road maps and stuff. That's where you got it from. It's tourist folklore. You got it from a gift shop. That's where he got it from. Opposed to linguistically, comparative linguistics and textual evidence shows different. The danger of back formation. The danger of back formation. The vulture says Explanation is a classic example of back formation. Inventing a false origin story to explain the known result. You guys might want to write this down. The danger of back formation and what back formation actually is. The vulture says, or anybody who says that the vulture says right? That is an explanation of a classic back formation, inventing a false origin story to explain a known result. Because modern transliteration uses someone created a convenient but entirely fictitious justification involving animal sounds. Because we know that the letter for the vulture is A. Someone fictitiously made up, the hawks makes the A sound. That's pseudoscience at its finest. This pattern appears frequently in pseudo-archaeology and pseudo-linguistics. Taking a real artifact this pattern appears frequently in pseudo-archaeology and pseudo-linguistics. Taking a real artifact or practice, then retrofitting a sensational explanation that ignores actual evidence. I'll read that again. This pattern appears frequently in pseudo-archaeology and pseudo-linguistics. Taking a real artifact or practice, then retrofitting a sensational explanation that ignores actual evidence. The result distorts public understanding in ancient cultures and undermines genuine scholarship. So this is what our master teachers are doing, right? This is what brothers like Tahuti Afar is doing, right? They're back formatting. So why does it matter? Like, why am I going so hard on linguistics and upholding linguistics, right? Why does it matter? Ancient Egyptian was a sophisticated writing system developed over millennia, reducing it to simplistic animal sounds and social intellectual achievements of an entire civilization. Educational integrity. We have to have some integrity about ourselves as well. Museum educators and tour guides have a responsibility to share accurate information, not perpetuate charming myths that mislead the public about human history, right? So those of us who are the gatekeepers in our community, right, who have the opportunity to take, to go to the museum and lead the tour guides, it's up to them to give the right information, right? Not pseudoscience. Critical thinking. Learning to distinguish evidence-based scholarship from pseudo-scientific folklore helps audience develop stronger analytical skills applicable for far beyond Egyptology. Critical thinking is definitely important in being able to distinguish real scholarship from pseudo-linguistics, right? It's as simple as understanding that in the real world, the vulture doesn't make an ah sound. So there's no way that the reason given in back formation that the vulture makes the ah sound, that's the reason for the letter A would be incorrect. Key takeaways. The vulture hieroglyph represents a glutinal consonant, not a vowel sound. Ancient Egyptians used an abjad system where vowels weren't typically written. Egyptian vultures don't vocalize ah. The biological claim is false. If they don't vocalize ah, they don't have the ability in their larynx to vocalize the ah, only loud hisses, then infinity is incorrect. These birds are mostly silent and produce hisses or whistles when they do vocalize. Hieroglyphs follow the rebus principle, based on words, names, not animal noises. So I don't want anybody to ever just say that again. Or if they do, let them know. It's based on the rebus principle, not animal noises. Right? The vulture was chosen because the Egyptian word for vulture begins with a glutinal stop. The A designation is a modern transliteration convention, not phonetic reality. 19th century scholars used ah as shorthand, which was later misunderstood. Understanding the truth helps us appreciate the genuine sophistication of ancient Egyptian culture and resist the allure of pseudo-scientific oversimplification. Pseudo-scientific oversimplification, right?
Also represents masculinity.
Meanwhile,
a few moments later.
Information. That's a hawk vulture. It's a hawk vulture. And the hawk vulture goes, ah, ah, ah. That's the sound, ah. Okay, so I want to break it down. Symptomatic thought. We understand each animal. The F, what you wanted to say for father, something like that, is a horn viper snake. And it goes like the F sound. And it also represents masculinity.
meanwhile,
a few moments later.
Information. That's a hawk vulture. It's a hawk vulture. And the hawk vulture goes, ah, ah, ah. That's the sound, ah. Okay, so I want to break it down. Symptomatic thought. We understand each animal. The F, what you wanted to say for father, something like that, is a horn viper snake. And it goes like the F sound. And it also represents masculinity.
Meanwhile,
A few moments later.
Information. That's a hawk vulture. It's a hawk vulture. And the hawk vulture goes, ah, ah, ah. That's the sound, ah. Okay, so I want to break it down. Symptomatic.
So I want to show here. Now we're on the TLA. This is the Thesaurus Lingua Egypta. So this is how you demonstrate, right? This is how we do it. This is how I do it. So we're here at the TLA. So we'll go here. That's the word of scrutiny. Vulture, right? Because the brother is saying that it's a hawk. The master teacher is saying that it's a hawk, right? Here we typed in vulture, and we'll go to search, and we'll see what it gives us. Mind you, this is in the German, so we'll go to translate it out of German into English. And we're just looking for the word vulture. There we go, the first word, vulture. Bird, vulture in English. Common noun, masculine. What is that? It's just the glutenal stop that we've been learning and talking about. Excuse me. The ah sound. The ah sound. This is how they pronounce this bird. Ah. Ah. This is how they pronounce this bird. Ah. This is not what the bird said. The bird doesn't say ah. They called the bird ah. Let's go. Translate this. So here we see pyramid text, funerary text, Pepi. The head of this Marie. I'm reading the text. Marie Ra Pin M A Beck. So it says Tepini Marie Rau Pin M A Beck. Right? Mbik. So the word for ah is vulture. You see, here's the vulture. Character one time in English, vulture, bird. It is the ah sound. We see here, this is ah, basically an A. But this is M-I. So if they don't, I don't think they have the hieroglyphs for this, but I think this would be like pin. So that would be a purr with the water ripple underneath it. This would be an M. This would be the L. Then this would be the A. This would be the vulture. And this would be the B. This probably would be a relief with the K, which is a nep sign, a teacup. So then we have the Mary, probably the merglyph, relief, open mouth for the R, Puchet sound, quail. Do they have a glyph? Let's see. They don't have the glyph for this one. But we can go to start it in the sentence to right where it says. Let's see. So this is the TLA once again. So here we go. We see here it again in English translated already. The head of this Marie Ra. So I believe this means it's basically a temple. I mean a pyramid. The head of this pyramid is the vulture, or the head of this temple. So I'm gonna look up this word. Let's see what this word is used. It's Marie Ra. While we here. World name, the phone name for Pepe. Right, here we go. You see here Ra, circle with the dot, so letting you know this is literally talking about Ra. You see the Mer glyph here, Mer, complement, phonetic complement with the mouth as the R, Mer, release, Murray. We see this person, like, you know, that this is the deity, Ra, the determinative, the unspoken determinative. So we see the same thing here, Merglyph, Ri. So yeah, I just wanted to show that in the TLA. So that's actually just showing the word for vulture is I. And here we see it again. This is this little backwards 3 sign right here is their sign for I, which we see is the vulture. It literally is the vulture. It's not what the vulture says, right? The vulture does not make the sound. So just wanted to clear that up in regards to that. With the TLA, give me 1 second. Close that out. But I will go back to this. Let's go. So here we go. Decoding Egyptian hieroglyphs. Beyond the vulture, a myth. Most people learning hieroglyphs receive a simplified alphabet chart. The map symbols to Western letters, a vulture becomes A. Water ripples become N. While this helps tourists spell names on papyrus, souvenirs, it's linguistic training wheels that obscures the sophisticated genius of this ancient African writing system. Today, we'll debunk the A is for Apple, logic, and explore the real science behind the Metu Neter. The identity crisis. It's not a hawk. It's not a hawk. It's a vulture. Accuracy in iconography matters, right? Pseudo scholarships, right? And Fudishi scholarship, in regards to this, at least, often mislabels every bird in hieroglyphic scripts as a hawk or eagle. Perhaps it sounds more powerful or mysterious. This fundamental error undermines understandings from the start. In reality, this bird is the Egyptian vulture. So let's understand, just as something as simple as that, right, matters, right? To not calling a vulture a hawk. Let's identify it for what it actually really is, right? So, the ancient scribes were master observers of nature who chose specific animals for specific sounds based on the actual, The ancient scribes were master observers of nature who chose specific animals for specific sounds based on the animal's actual name in their language. A biological dictionary encoded in their script. Rebus theory, Rebus principle, all over again. Mistaking a vulture for a hawk means misreading the entire phonetic foundation the Egyptians carefully constructed. So imagine those who've been doing that, and how, you know, whatever translations they've been given, how entirely false they've been. To say that the viper, which is the letter, which is phonetically has the in the alphabet, the English lexicon, of an F, right? To say that it's the letter F because it makes the F sound is crazy. The myth of onomatopoeia. Popular misconception. Many believe hieroglyphic signs represent sounds animals make, like A for hawk's cry. This theory is demonstrably false, and I will later demonstrate if I haven't already. The reality, an abjad. Metanetter is an abjad. Like modern Arabic or Hebrew, vowels A, E, I, or U were largely unwritten, understood contextually by the speakers itself. And those who know in the Hebrew language, as far as like the Nakut systems were added, that's why the Nakuts were added, for people, for non-speakers of the language, could pronounce, to know what it said. Someone who was already indoctrinated in the language, who grew up and raised, they would already know, you know, without the vowels. No vowels were needed. The glutinal stop. The vulture represents a glutinal stop. The subtle catch in your throat when saying, not a long a vowel sound. The Rebus principle. Visual symbol. Draw a picture of an eye. Extract the sound. Use only the sound of the word. So you've drawn an eye, right? And phonetically given it and pronounced it as I. So now you'll take this principle and you'll use that to combine those sounds to build words. Or not build words, to create words, I should say. The Rebus principle is linguistic genius. This principle is merely a container for sound, not a literal representation of meaning. It just has a phonetic value, not a meaning. I think I should do a presentation on that. Letters have no meaning, right? Words have meaning, right? Letters have phonetic value that create words that have meanings. So this picture is merely a container for sound, not a literal representation of meaning. When you see an eye with a screaming figure, you're not describing vision, right? You're not describing meaning because the letters have lost all meaning. You're spelling them out phonetically, right? You're not describing vision. You're spelling ice cream, right? Ice cream. So if you wanted to spell ice cream, right, you could put a I, right, with somebody screaming, ice cream. Ancient Egyptians applied this logic to their environment, transforming observed nature into phonetic writing systems. The Aleph. So the Aleph, those in the Hebrew would know is the Ah, right? It's the beginning of most all words. Every word, if you ask me, has an Aleph in the beginning of it. The unseen Aleph. Right? The vulture sign's proper name is Aleph. Or Ah. The Hebrew is Aleph. The Egyptian is Ah. With the transliteration symbol Ah. This represents a glottal stop, a consonantal sound, not a vowel. But it's funny how we use this in the English language as a vowel, right? In the English, we use the A as a vowel. In the Metanetter, it was not a vowel. It was a consonant that had the phonetic value of Ah. That letter became a letter in our lexicon as a vowel. Phonetic evolution. Linguistic research reveals that in the earliest forms of the language, the sound may not have been a glutinal stop at all. Evidence suggests it could have been a liquid sound, similar to L or R. The 3,000-year journey. When pseudoscientists claim it's simply A because the bird sounds like that, they ignore 3,000 years of documented phonetic shifts in the actual Afro-Asiatic linguistic roots. The water ripple. The N. Pseudo interpretation is as this. Mystical readings that often claim the water ripple represents vibrational energy or waves of consciousness, poetic but historically inaccurate. Linguistic reality. The Egyptian word for water was net. So let's look this up, right? So in order to prove things and make claims, you have to be able to demonstrate them. You know what I'm saying? Demonstrate them on the fly. If I'm right, I'm right. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. If I'm wrong, I'm learning. So either way, but I'm putting it out there so we all can learn it at the same time. So linguistic reality, it says here, the Egyptian word for water was net. Scribes extracted the N sound and repurposed it phonetically to write grammatical elements. So we should be able to go to the TLA, which I still have available, which I still have up here. So let's go to that. Hold on a couple of days. I will go to the TLA. So now that we back into TLA real quick, we should be able to go to the word for water. We'll go down here to translation. Type in water. Now, I suppose the word for water was net, right? NT. And that is where it starts with that word. So let's see. We'll go down here. We'll see. We see Jeb. See Jehu. Not Jet. Body of water. Woo. See the water somehow we don't see. Well, wait a minute. We did in that instance, but that's still not it by itself. Here, right here. Knit. Knit. So this reed leaf here is an I. And then we see the N. The two reed leaves for a Y. Knit. We see here the T. Knit. Knit. and it's a body of water. You can see here, in it. So I suppose that the word is it. So body of water is in it. So let's just see if we can find water by itself as nit or net. Let's see. So far we found in it. It's like a lot of these, so be patient. It's 21 pages of LM. So we had M, so I think N should be coming up probably. They go in order. And this is all fun. This is, meta learning, going through. And here we go. There's the net I talked about. NT in the feminine form as for water. So net, right? So the Egyptian word for water was net. So we see the sign here. This water ripple is the letter N. This is the Rebus principle, right? The letter N is not the letter N because the water makes the sound N, right? So we see here. So let's go back to the presentation. Sometimes it's good to demonstrate. So I just wanted to demonstrate that on the fly to show the truth and what you're actually saying. So linguistic reality, the Egyptian word for water was net, right? Which we just described. We just showed and demonstrated in the TLA. Scribes extracted the N sound and repurposed it phonetically to write grammatical elements. Functional uses. In sentences, the water ripple typically functions as a preposition. Words like, to, for, the grammatical glue holding meaning together. The water ripple isn't a mystical symbol for fluid consciousness. It's practical grammar used thousands of times across text to structure language and convey relationships between ideas. The hand. And I'll do more on this as well. Beyond picture reading, many see a hand immediately thinking action, giving, or power. This is the trap of pictographic thinking. The phonetic truth. Because the Egyptian word for hand was direct, this sign simply represents the sound D. It appears in countless words purely for its phonetic value. So let's see. The Egyptian word for hand, was it direct? Let's see what the Egyptian word for hand is. So we'll go back here to the TLA. We can go here to translation of the word. So the word for content of that's being scrutinized is the hand. So we'll type hand in translation. Go to search lemma. And boom, bam. Direct. Hand. To lay a hand on. Hand. So if you wanted to say to lay a hand on somebody, you would say, are we direct? Are we direct? Like, we got a problem? Direct, but we see direct here. It's not that many directs. We can go through these. Direct, hand. So the word for hand is direct. So here we see. Let me translate it to English real quick. Let's translate this to English. Okay. And we see here it's 391 occurrences of the word being used as direct. So let's see. M direct. So we see the owl here, right? Phonetically, that from a strictly phonetic value, right? This M here, so these are skeletons. So let's just talk about it. These are skeletons. These are uniliterals, right? So M, the owl, only has the phonetic value of an M. Of, you know what I'm saying? Of the M. This is the D, right? The hand we're talking about, and this is the it gives the der sound, the der, and then we see the ta, the bread loaf, for the ta, direct, and we see the single stroke underneath, letting you know that it's talking about that thing, M direct. In the hands of, by, through, of, out of the hand, in the hand of, from the hand, the hand. It's a preposition. So direct, for sure, for hand. So we saw that. So let's go back to the presentation. The hand helps spell du, mountain, det, eternity, right? Not because a hand is touching mountains or touching eternity, but because you need the D sound to construct those words, right? So let's just go back, because this is important points that I'm showing using the uniliterals, right? And this is the point that I'm making, my overall point in regards to, what was it, mountain? Let me go back real quick and see. Mountain and eternity, okay? Du and det. I just want to demonstrate this. So du and det. So we'll go to, let me share this instead. Because it's important. So we go back to TLA, we'll go back here. So the word for mountain. So the word for mountain should be du or det, right? So when we see the word mountain, we should still see the hand sign. Let's see. It's the point being made. And the point being made is that even though it's a hand sign, it's only given the phonetic value of a D, not of anything associated with any, thing with a hand. So let's just see if we can find the du. We see the du here, tepi du, or the mountain. So that's fine. We can, yeah. But here's du by itself for mountain with only the determinative. We see it here. So this is the one we probably want to look at, but I don't see a hieroglyph. We got hieroglyph. 4 instances, so we can look at that. So we're looking for the instance where the du is with the hand sign for the D. We don't see them in there. Tepi du. I don't see the hand used in any of these. Those do not have the hand sign. We see the du, so let's go. So this does du dessert, right? Du dessert, right? So it's a mountain. It means red mountain. So we see du, right? Used as the word for mountain. Desert is the mountain for red, using an instance of red mountain. So you see they write it backwards, mountain red, right? We see here the determinative, like, you know, that is the mountain range, or, you know, I mean the desert direct. You see it spelled out phonetically right here with the hand. So I'll use this one. These brackets mean here that this text was missing, so it's inferred, right? We see here that the hand is actually used. So this is the point being made, right? The point demonstrating. Do, desert, right? The D is the hand in this, right? So at this point, uniliterals have been stripped of any meaning that they, you know, esoteric meaning possibly that they could possibly have, right? They're strictly being used phonetic for their phonetic value. That's it. They're simply being used to construct the word, right? So desert, do, which means mountain, and we see here so this word do, right? The do right here is spelling out this word right here, this determinative. Because this determinative right here is not pronounced, right? But it is the mountain. The same here. Do, desert, right? All these are uniliterals, have no meaning. They have no meaning, only phonetic values. And these individually, these are being used to spell these, as we see here in the box: D and W, D, S and R, D, W, D, S and R. They're used to spell out this determinative right here that we see with the single stroke. Let you know it is what it is, the thing that it is, right? And then we see it here spelled out. So that's how they did that. And that's what we do with the alphabet. So, into my, like I mentioned, my greater point, overall point that I'll also be demonstrating is that when we take the ideographs and the pictographs that have concepts and meaning behind them, and we take them and we make them into linear letters that have no meanings, then that's not a decipherment. That is a phonetic categorization of sounds. The meaning has been lost. So decipherment to me would be discovering the meanings behind the actual concept itself, the meaning behind the ideograph itself, the meaning behind the pictograph itself. That's true decipherment. When you see a hand behind ripples, water ripples, you're not witnessing energy flowing from a hand. You're reading a phonetic combination used in thousands of different Egyptian words, which I just demonstrated, using the 24 uniliterals to spell out what is damn near over 5,000, 6,000 logograms, right? That are not spoken, that have no phonetic value, right? So they're using these letters in an attempt to, phonetically pronounce words, symbols that have no phonetic value, so to speak. Listening to the scribes. Move beyond projection. By rejecting pseudo-interpretations, we stop projecting modern mysticism onto the Nile Valley and start genuinely listening to what ancient scribes actually wrote. The Egyptians weren't simply drawing their thoughts and pictures. They were writing a highly sophisticated phonetic alphabet, a true linguistic achievement. Through understanding, we have respect. Accurate translation honors their intellectual legacy. These weren't primitive symbols. They were the tools of one of the history's most advanced civilizations. Right? So when we do things like this, right?
It also represents masculinity.
Meanwhile,
A few moments later.
Information. That's a hawk vulture. It's a hawk vulture. And the hawk vulture goes, ah, ah, ah. That's the sound, ah. Okay, so I want to break it down. Symptomatic thought. We understand each animal. The F, what you wanted to say for father, something like that, is a horn viper snake. And it goes like the F sound. And it also represents masculinity.
Oh, this is crazy.
meanwhile,
A few moments later.
This is crazy.
Information. That's a hawk vulture. It's a hawk vulture. And the hawk vulture goes, ah, ah, ah. That's the sound.
It's not a hawk. It's not a hawk at all.
Ah. Okay, so I want to break it down. Symptomatic thought. We understand each animal. The F, what you wanted to say for father, something like that, is a horn viper snake. And it goes like the F sound.
What is Infodisi talking about? I would love to have the brother on the panel. I would love to have the brother on the panel to ask him what he meant. What did he mean when he said that the snake makes a and that's why we call it an F? What did he actually mean by that? Because seems to have a lot of pseudoisms in it to me, right? So I'm going to open up the panel here in one moment, but I want to present this one last little bit of information that I have in regards to the metanetter, and particularly tones, right? Tones, right? One of my main arguments is that there is no way that we can speak the metanetter, right? It's not a spoken language, right? Right? So so you'll understand more, by the presentation and what I mean by when I say it's not spoken, right? Because I'll make a clear distinction between chanting and spoken word, right? Chanting and spoken words, right? The pyramid texts are literally called the utterances, right? So we're going to make a distinction between utterances and spoken word, right? What we do in English, right? When we add the vowels that don't have any meanings, right? All these phonetic sounds, right? Which is contradictory to anything that the Egyptians or metanetter would ever taught, because to them, the utterances contain heka, which is power. So randomly inserting vowels that don't mean anything would be crazy, because it would take away the heka, the power from the words. But here we go. Vibrational keys, heka and the metanetter. Beyond speech, activating the pyramid text through resonance. We have some words we're going to look up here shortly. Beyond speech, activating the pyramid text through resonance. Let's go. The pyramid texts are activated. Language versus activation. The modern era. We view language as a tool for sharing information. Words as vessels to transmit thought from one mind to another. I'll read that again. We view language as a tool for sharing information. Words as vessels to transmit thoughts from one mind to another. In English, we speak to be understood. In metanetter, they chanted to be felt. Whew. That's deep. And just this, reading, and just, researching it, and when things like, the brother Inky, right? When he talks about these things, these frequencies, I understand it more now, a little bit more in a way he was meaning when he said some of the things that he said in regards to these frequencies, right? So here we go. The modern era. In English, we speak, right, to be understood. In Metanetter, they chanted to be felt. So what does that mean to me? Chanting to be felt. Chanting to resonate certain tones. Certain tones would create certain vibrations, whether lower tones would create certain vibrations, different vibrations and tones that may be higher pitched, right? Higher pitched tones may unlock certain or activate certain things within the pyramid text, right? The ancient reality, right? Metanetter, or divine words, was a tool for altering reality. Sacred utterances designed to reshape the fabric of existence itself. Keep in mind, the Egyptians, they believed that these symbols would come off the wall. If you spoke them, and if you uttered them, they could become real, right? So they were most times you'll see them with, like, they'll be cut in half, right? The glyph will be cut in half, right? Destroying the heka of the magic so that it could not, if it was spoken or uttered, that it wouldn't come alive, right? Crazy, I know. In English, we think of linear, conceptual, literal, right? Language of the mind. Metanetter was more multidimensional, vibrational, energetic, a language of the cosmos. Heka, the primordial electricity. Heka is not magic in the sense of illusion or trickery. It represents the underlying creative force of the universe, the primordial energy that brought forth all creation from the void. This is Heka, the primordial energy that brought forth all creation from the void. So Heka would have brought forth Ra, the energy, the vibrational switch, the written word, acts as the battery, storing the potential. The human voice serves as the circuit that channels the raw energy. The correct tone, right? The correct tone functions as the switch activating the Heka. So not the correct word, right? The word doesn't Heka, the word doesn't activate the Heka. The tone activates the Heka. And if we have any Metanetter scholars or any, we can always challenge that, or that's always up, for debate. But in my opinion, it's not the word that activates the Heka. It is the tone that activates the Heka. It is the tone that activates the magic, right? The vibration, not the word, right? Without the precise resonance, the sacred text inscribed upon the chamber walls remain nothing more than dormant stone, beautiful nonetheless, but powerless. Powerless. The Heka has been lost, right? The symbols have lost their Heka, right? The anatomy of a chant, from speech to intonement. Consonants, right? Written, provide the skeleton, the physical structure and form of the utterance, carved visibly into stone for eternity, right? So the consonants are also what we see written when they mean skeleton would be basically the uniliterals, so to speak, because the uniliterals have phonetic value to build words, right? But they're not the word. They don't contain any meaning itself until the word is built, right? So they have no meanings. Vowels, hidden vowels, right? Provide the soul, the vibrational essence that animates the structure and breathes life into stone. My argument will always be we have no idea or have no understanding of the tone. What tone, what vibration that priest or concept he had at that moment. We only have the skeleton. The vowel secret. Ancient Egyptians deliberately omitted vowels from the written script. This was not an accident of linguistic evolution. It was an intentional safeguard, right? Why the omission? Vowels were the frequencies. Where the tone was the frequency. The actual sonic keys to unlock dimensional gateways. They were transmitted orally from high priests to initiated disciples to ensure the vibrational codes couldn't be stolen, corrupted, or misused by the uninitiated. They had to teach you this. If you didn't have the key, if you didn't have the tone, if you weren't taught the correct tone, then you didn't know. Because you had to have the correct tone to unlock the Heka, the magic, to unlock the pyramid strip. If you didn't know what you were saying, you lost. You in there playing. But most often, this oral transmission was transmitted from father to son, right? From Nasut to his son, because most often the elected priests or the hairy heads were the sons of the Nasut, right? Ensuring their father's journey through the Duat, right, into the field of reeds to become one of the Aku, right? And as a son, he would sit next to his father, hopefully in his transition. So it's something that was passed down. Writing was something that was passed down from father to son, right? The sacred action. Proper chanting involved deliberately elongated vowel sounds. Ay-ow, ay-ow, ay-ow. Sounds a lot different than me speaking A, E, I, O, U. Right? A-U, I-U, right? It sounds like some cultists chanting stuff, but right? Now that's a lot different than A, the alphabetic linear letter A, the linear letter E, the linear letter O, right? Within this chant of the A-U, there's power, there's some sort of vibration, there's some sort of tone, and according to the tone and vibration, certain things can be locked accordingly. Each tone or wavelength sustained to create standing. Woo! Brother Inky, hey, and sometimes people argue out of ignorance, because when you were speaking, and I give you your props, because when you were speaking upon standing waves, I didn't know what standing waves were, right? I never understood. I didn't know what they were. So a lot of times people argue out of ignorance, but I do now understand what standing waves were, and I understand what they are, and I understand how standing waves apply to the priest in vocalization and utterances and chants, and how the tones, right, apply to the standing waves, right? So each sustain to create standing waves within the chamber, transforming the space into a resonant field of power. This is very interesting, and I'll definitely I'll go deeper into this at a later time. The pyramid as a wait, did I skip this? Hold on, I just want to go back here. Okay, here we go. I went over the valves. The pyramid as a resonator. Sacred acoustics. The pyramid burial chambers reveal sophisticated knowledge of sound physics. They were often lined with rose granite, a stone rich in quartz crystal formations. Piezoelectric properties. Quartz is naturally piezoelectric. It converts mechanical pressure from sound waves into measurable electrical energy, creating a living, energetic field. So imagine a priest inside the pyramid chanting certain utterances with certain tones, right? Creating sound waves, creating energy, right? In theory, creating an electro field within the pyramid. The resonant frequency. When a lector priest intone at the chamber's resonant frequency, often cited near 117 hertz. This is the very walls began to vibrate in sympathetic response. And so it's just thinking in principle, and it applies, right? If the tones resonate, right, are sound waves, right, and sound waves create electrical energy depending on the tone, right? Then inside the pyramid, they have created a living, energetic field. The feedback. The chamber itself starts to sing back, amplifying the priest's voice and creating a high vibrational field designed to shatter the density of physical matter, right? This has nothing to do with somebody going into the pyramids with a script and reading A-E-I-O-U or protect my father or the water or pronouncing words, right? If you went into the pyramid and pronounced words, nothing would be unlocked, right? It would not ensure an Asut's journey anywhere. No magic, no Heka would be unlocked if you went into the pyramids and proceeded to simply speak, right? Plain English, the pyramid text, to read them, right? Or recite them in the way that we imagine today in the English mindset, right? You would have to go in there, at first you would have to know the correct tone. You would have to know the correct tone, right? Which tones to use appropriately, and it would have to be taught to you. So it would be more along the lines of, like you say, the that's that type of stuff, like literally chanting, right? Literally chanting, and according to the tone in which you're chanting in, different things would be unlocked, right? Different energy fields would be unlocked, and different frequencies would be open, right? So it says the chamber itself starts to sing back, amplifying the priest's voice, creating a high vibrational field designed to shatter density of physical matter. This wasn't acoustic accident. It was deliberate engineering to launch the Aku, the shining spirit through the dimensional veil. It was deliberate engineering to launch the Aku through the dimensional veil. This is deep. there's a vibration associated with breaking through that veil. And I would assume you would have to know that tone that would resonate to break through that veil. If you didn't, then it's safe to say that the soot or that blessed ancestor, right, that's attempting to become an Aku, probably wouldn't make it. Speaking versus toning. Understanding the fundamental difference. Speaking, right? In English, we speak through our throat, our mouth, right? In Metanetter, in regards to what I'm talking about, in regards to toning, the source is the diaphragm. Actually, your whole body. You're speaking through your whole body. It's the tone, right? In English, we speak through a staccato, right? And in Metanetter, it would be more of a constant rhythmic type of a tone, right? Constant rhythmic. Cosmic with a rhythm, a constant rhythm, right? Harmonic resonance. So imagine harmony, rhythm, constantly through a certain tone through your body, transforming, right? Opposed to the English where we speak through our throat, right, to communicate. In English, we speak through our throat to communicate words, right? The Egyptians spoke through their body, through rhythm and harmony to transform the symbols, right? To create the heka needed to transform, to give the energy needed, right? To break the veils, right? Toning engages the entire body as an instrument. The chest cavity becomes a resonating chamber. The bones conduct vibration, and the practitioner becomes a living tuning fork aligned with cosmic frequencies. This is not achieved through speaking, only through toning. You're not going to achieve this through speaking, saying A-E-I-O-U, right? The word is the deed, not meant to be read. And this is, I'll make this argument. We can set it up. We got anybody who wants in the Metanetter community wants to debate this. I'm more than ready to have a conversation with you. The word is the deed, not meant to be read. The pyramid texts were never intended as literature to be silently contemplated or intellectually analyzed. The pyramid texts were never intended as literature to be silently contemplated or intellectually analyzed. When the lecture priest stood in the darkness of the burial chamber, he wasn't merely reciting a story to comfort the deceased king. He was wielding his voice as a sonic scalpel, cutting through the veil between life and death, between the material and the eternal. You know the tones. They were vibrational triggers, sonic algorithms encoded in stone, awaiting the precise frequency to activate their transformative power. And that's what I said. You have to know the frequency to activate the power, not the word. The word does not activate the power. The frequency activates the power. That's why having a skeleton doesn't matter. You can have 1,000 uniliterals. They don't matter because they don't have any power, right? Even the words that you're creating with the uniliterals have no power. The tone is the power. The frequency is the power. The frequency is what activates the heck up. Let's go. The living technology. This wasn't primitive superstition. It was sophisticated technology that understood what modern physics is only now rediscovering. That sound shapes reality. Sound shapes reality. We literally can speak things into existence if we know what the correct tone is. That frequency affects matter. Frequency affects matter. Change the frequency, change the matter. And that consciousness itself may be a vibrational phenomenon waiting to be properly tuned. Yeah, this is pretty dope. This is pretty deep. I'm definitely gonna go a little bit deeper into it. Future studies, the vibrational legacy. We'll be closing out here. I'm gonna open up the panel here in one moment and see if anybody wants to comment, add anything, takeaways, disagree, agree, either way. And then I'm gonna close up out of here. The vibrational legacy, sacred architecture, chambers designed as resonant cavities, amplifying specific frequencies to breach dimensional boundaries. Text functioning as batteries of potential energy, requiring precise activation through informed vocalization, right? So what does that mean? Text functioning as batteries of potential energy, right? So it means that if you don't know the tone, you can't unlock the code. You can have the skeleton, but you ain't got the key. And the key is the tone, right? Requiring precise activation through informed vocalization. Informed vocalization meaning that it had to been taught from father to son. And I damn near want to make an argument just off of just saying that is that I damn near would assume that if the understanding of the vocalization is passed from the father to the son, if the son probably has the same vocal larynx as the father, that only the son probably could pronounce it and have the correct pronunciation or tone. That's another something that I would, that's just harmonic keys. Because I would assume just not anybody could read these texts and unlock the same power as the son's actual son, or somebody within their family lineage, right? Vowel patterns transmitted orally, protecting the vibrational codes from misuse while preserving its transformative power. The ancient Egyptians understood a profound truth, that Medu Neter was not merely a language of communication, but a technology of consciousness. A method to literally speak new realities into existence through the merits of intention, vibration, and sacred geometry. Sacred geometry would be the pyramid itself, right? Vibration will be the tone that you're speaking in inside of the pyramid, right? Intention would be the reading of the script of the pyramid text itself. The intention of ensuring the Nasut's travel through the Duat safely, right? As you're standing within the pyramid, right? With the correct tone, with the correct tonal vibration, right? That's being transmitted through your body. That's going to activate and the certain energy fields within the pyramid, right? That's what activate the heka, right? To break through the veil, right? Come on now. So when you take that, all of that, right?
It's masculinity.
When you take all of that.
Meanwhile,
a few moments later.
Information. vulture, and the hawk vulture goes, ah, 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 that's the sound, ah. Okay, so I want to break it down. Symptomatic thought. We understand each animal. The F, what you wanted to say for father, something like that, is a horn viper snake. And it goes like the F sound. And it also represents masculinity.
Meanwhile,
a few moments later.
Information. That's a hawk vulture. It's a hawk vulture. And the hawk vulture goes, ah, 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 that's the sound, ah. Okay, so I want to break it down. Symptomatic thought. We understand each animal. The F, what you wanted to say for father, something like that, is a horn viper snake. And it goes like the F sound. And it also represents masculinity.
So the link is in the chat. If anybody wants to come up or have any contention with the presentation, anything to add, the link is in the chat. I'll keep it out there for a moment. You know what I'm saying? If I don't get anybody to jump on, then I'll just close out the show. Just wanted to present some information. I just wanted to show that, you know, no matter who they are, their information, you know, is not up for, you know, too good to be scrutinized, or, you know, in our community. We want truth to be promoted, you know what I'm saying, in regards to this meta-netter, you know, not travel, you know, shop, you know, information that you get, you know, on the side of the road anywhere. So we want to have truth, you know, promoted. The Rebus principle is something that's actually real. So I did actually demonstrate and show within the meta-netter and the Egyptian dictionary lexicon that the word for vulture is ah, right? Which in our lexicon is the letter A. So that's where we get that from. It's not because the animal or the vulture itself makes the sound ah, right? So I just wanted to show that was pseudoism in its finest. And yeah, let me just show one last thing, and I'm gonna get up out of here real quick. And that is the final bell for today's session here at the Titans Debate League. We came in asking heavy questions for our master teacher, PSEUDO. We've heard the evidence, we've seen the passion, and we've challenged the narrative that many of us hold dear. Whether you're leaving here today with more faith in our teachers or more questions about their credentials, one thing is certain: the truth doesn't fear investigation. I want to thank our debaters for stepping in the fire and our audience for tuning in and keeping the chat moving. Remember, a title doesn't make you a master. The fruit of the labor does. I am your host, King J. Keep seeking, keep questioning, and most importantly, keep your eyes open. We just don't talk about the game, we define it. Titans, we are out. Peace.
Trying to douse my flame. Yes, they can try, yes, they can, it'll douse my flame. 10 toes where I stand, I'm the motherfucking man, wanna put out my flame. They try to douse my flame, no stopping us now, my spirit is tightened. They wanna douse my flame and claim my intellectual likeness. You can catch me in the gauntlet, with a roster full of monsters. Keep the heat in the topics. They try to douse my flame. Ain't no stopping us now, but my spirit is tightened. They wanna douse my flame and claim my intellectual likeness. You can catch me in the gauntlet, with a roster full of monsters. Yes, they can try, yes, they can. They try to douse my flame. Ain't no stopping us now, but my spirit is tightened. They wanna douse my flame and claim my intellectual likeness. You can catch me in the gauntlet with a roster full of monsters. Keep the heat in the topics. They wanna douse my flame. If I pull it out, it's a profit. These scriptures keep flowing while teaching disciples. You can catch me in the gauntlets with a roster full of monsters. If I pull it out, it's a profit. This the sound of insurrection. Keep around in the weapon. Blowing loud, it's a session. Lighters up, shake met the goddess. Pour out effervescence, be the runner-up, the next contestant. Not hearing you haters, ain't no blocking my blessings. They try to douse my flame. Ain't no stopping us now. But my spirit is titans. They wanna douse my flame and claim my intellectual likeness. And claim my intellectual likeness. You can catch me in the gauntlets with a roster full of monsters. Keep the heat in the topics. Yes, they can try, yes they can. It'll douse my flame. 10 toes where I stand, I'm the motherfucking man. Wanna put out my flame. They don't know nice is eternal. Now I got nice light infernos. They're trying to douse my flame. Yes, they can try, yes they can. It'll douse my flame.